Namaste everyone. In today's video, we're going to focus on Muni Patanjali's Yoga Sutra 2.19. In this Yoga Sutra, Muni Patanjali helps us to understand the evolution of Prakriti. And he's doing so because in the previous sutras, we understood the difference between Drishya and Drashta and how we need to understand Drishya so we can really undertake the meditative practices correctly. So let's take a good look at this sutra and start breaking it up word by word to understand it even better. The sutra itself goes, Vishesha Vishesha Linga Matra Lingani Guna Parvani. So this is the sutra itself. Now let's start breaking it up word by word to understand it even further. So the first set of words that we have here are Vishesha and Avishesha. Now Vishesha means specialized or something that is differentiated, and Avishesha means something that is not differentiated and quite homogeneous in its nature. Then coming to the next word, we have Linga Matra. Now, Linga Matra refers to something that is merely symbolic, that does not have much more of a form than a symbol. So it's just a Linga Matra, merely a presence or a symbol. Then coming to the next word, we have Alinga. Now, Alinga is sort of like the root essence where everything is undifferentiated, it's all the same and it's just part of one big whole. So, Alinga is something that does not have a symbol, something that is part of the greater whole. Then coming to the next word over here, we have Ani. And Ani just means and or with, and we're talking about the next set of words. And then we come to Guna. And Guna is a very important word here because it indicates directly the presence of the Sankhya philosophy, where we talk about the three different gunas, which is Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So through this word Guna over here, we can directly see that it's referencing the Prakritic elements and Prakriti. Then the next word here is Parivar. So Parivar refers to some very clearly demarcated segments or parts of something. So it's kind of trying to tell us that these are the four sections or these are the four parts. And then we're going to go deeper to understand what exactly is it talking about. So this is the explanation of the words. Now let's see what the sutra is trying to tell us. So the sutra is saying that in Prakriti, the elements evolve in a particular manner. All the elements start off in the Alinga stage where they're pretty much in balance, there is no imbalance in them, and because of that there is no clear dominance of one particular guna. So in this Alinga state of Prakriti, when Prakriti has not been activated by the Purusha element, it is just quiet. It is just Alinga, not having any preference for its guna activation. And then afterwards, as things progress and Prakriti gets activated or there is a sanyog between Prakriti and Purusha, that is when we start to see a little bit of activity coming in and Alinga changes. So from Alinga we enter into the Linga Matra stage, and this is also the stage at which we talk about Mahat or Buddhi, the individual discriminating capacity. So here what happens is that Prakriti now kind of starts to have its own individual element and properties, and it's no longer just stable. The elements do now start kicking into action. So the Tanmatras as well as a little bit of the gunas come into play here, and we are introduced to the Linga Matra form of Prakriti. Now going further, as the evolution continues, Prakriti evolves from just Mahat and Buddhi to what we now call Ahankar. Alright, so Ahankar comes from what we loosely translate in English as ego, but it goes a little bit deeper than that. It's not just the ego. And so in this place now, we are starting to see the evolution or the rise of individuation, of the capacity of being an individual entity through the evolution of Prakriti. So now as we come closer and closer, Prakriti starts getting individualized and the gunas take on a little bit of a different form. So now this rise of the ego sense, along with the differentiation now of the Tanmatras, where we're talking about Gandha, we're talking about Rasa, we're starting to really experience some of the Tanmatras here. This stage becomes a little bit of the Vishesha stage, because things are going beyond the Linga Matra. They are not as separate entities entirely yet, but they're definitely taking on a slightly differentiated form. So this becomes the Vishesha stage, where things are differentiated but not entirely different in the way that we see them. And then as Prakriti keeps on evolving, we now come to the next segment, which is Vishesha, where we can clearly see the evolutes of Prakriti differentiated and different from all of its other sections. So here's where we have the Gyan Indriyas and the Karma Indriyas along with the Manas or the mind. And because these are differentiated organs, they have specific functions and they actually help Prakriti to evolve in a very specific way. They're known as Vishesha components of Prakriti, and they're very differentiated, very easy to identify and spot. So this is how Prakriti tends to evolve over a particular period of time. But the most important reason why we're studying this is so that we can understand the way in which Prakriti has evolved. So that when we're meditating and we want to start going into the Linga Matra stages, or going to the part where Purusha and Prakriti actually intermingled first, we need to go backwards. And so we need to see, well, how did Prakriti evolve to begin with? So I can trace that journey, and then I can start going down and understanding, okay, this is how, we can kind of travel or journey through the spectrum of the evolution of Prakriti. So yes, yoga definitely talks about Sankhya philosophy. It explains deep concepts of Sankhya philosophy, especially through this particular sutra. And it also tells us that in order to understand Prakriti, or in order to undertake a very serious practice of meditation, this evolution theory is very important, because without this, we won't know what are we trying to do in our meditation and where are we trying to locate ourselves in this path of Prakriti, So a little bit of effort and practice on the Sankhya philosophy along with the sutra will go a long way in helping us to understand the objective of meditation, as well as understanding the objective of Prakriti overall. So that's what the sutra is all about. I hope it's been helpful to you to understand this sutra a little bit better. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Apart from that, if you'd like to join our classes, the link is in the description, and we'd love to see you in one of our online classes so we can interact and get to know each other. We're going to see you in the next video. Until then, take care, and we're going to see you very soon. Namaste.